We're on the busy show floor of GDC here with Odile, who's the managing director of Ubisoft BlueByte, a studio that's really been embracing that online change over the last few years. Can you tell us a little bit what you're working on right now at BlueByte and what's going on there?
Oh, there's a lot of things going on at BlueByte for the moment. We have a couple of web browser games that are coming to the open beta right now. So Settlers is running for a long time in many different countries. We have also Anno Online, which is just going on open beta in Germany, but also in the English-speaking country, France and other countries. We have Silent Hunter Online, who is coming in open beta next month in also English speaking countries. And soon spring Heroes Online coming out. So all the games we started 1.5 years ago are now ready to go open. So it's a very busy time for us because on online when you go open beta then the works really start, I would say. It's then you know exactly what the people like and what they don't like, and you can react and really adapt the game. So it's a good phase. And also we have a couple of other projects that have not been disclosed yet that we're working on browser-based game, client-based game, and mobile tablets. So we're very much going to the online direction.
Yeah, and speaking of that, it seems like you have a little bit of a niche of sort of transforming popular franchises into these sort of browser-based online games now. Is there a formula to that, or do you have to go case by case?
There is definitely no formula. You have to go case by case, because if you want to do good online free-to-play games, you have to do it very close to the franchise and to the brand you're working on. So for every game it's different. In Heroes game is different than Anno or Silent Hunter. So we think that the key success is to be true to the brand and to do a real, very good game with free-to-play mechanisms and with monetization mechanism. So we do not have, unfortunately I would say, a formula. It doesn't go like that. The good thing is that most of the time we can reuse assets, graphical assets, so this is a good thing. This is something you can do for all games. If you have already assets, you can put them, they take them, but on the gameplay mechanism and the monetization, it's each time different.
So, very different fan base, obviously, for something like Silent Hunter and Heroes. When we talk about that, how do you sort of, because there's a lot of long-time fans, players who are used to playing the box PC version of, let's say, a Silent Hunter. How do you sort of ensure that they're not feeling cheated, that they're not getting a new like a box version of the game, but that they're actually getting a full game here?
Okay. Well, Silent Hunter is a very good example. We have been working with this fan and this very hardcore fan community from the beginning. The first concept we have, the first prototype, we started to speak with them, to ask them their opinion. We had a very long closed beta on Silent Hunter with a hardcore 300, 500 players that have been telling us all the time what they like, what they don't like, what they expect for a Silent Hunter, real good Silent Hunter experience. And now I must say, the last week we had a new version coming out and they were all very happy. And it's really the nice thing about working online is that every week I know if they like it or if they don't like it, and are very honest. And it's really for such hardcore subject where people know exactly what they want. It's really important to involve them from the beginning in what we are doing.
And that it's the kind of game where you have a lot of hardcore fans who don't play any other games at all. They just play that sort of game and that's it. They're not really gamers. They just like submarines. Yeah,
there are submarines fans. There are World War II war fans. There are people that like to plan a whole campaign and play together, but there are people also that very, very engaged. So it's a very nice subject to work on because they're very engaged with us, and we hope that they're going to stay a long time with us, because once you're there and you have your submarine and you have your fleet of submarine and so on, then you can play for years actually.
So a completely different kind of collaboration is of course with Heroes. You have so many different games coming out, so many various things, and you have to keep that sort of in line and keep it sort of a cohesive franchise or universe. How's that work been sort of across different studios?
This, luckily we have located in Paris a Heroes brand team who is looking at the real core value of the brands and making sure that all the studio respect this brand's value, but also we have a freedom of adapting if we need it to the platform, but always in cooperation with these people, the keeper of the brand. And there are people liking to work on different platforms. They know exactly what is about Heroes. They know exactly why Heroes is like that and what should be and what shouldn't be. And we work with them very closely on every game review to make sure that we are stick to the real, true Heroes brand.
So I suppose the trick here is you got Heroes Online, you got Heroes 6 Shade of Darkness. You want to have that Heroes experience, but you still want to add something that's a little bit unique, a little bit different, so that it's not just sort of the same game but an online version.
Yeah, and that's the good thing also about gaming and about games, is that it's not a book or paper where you can't change things. So we always identify the core brand values, and what we know is going to be very important to the brand and to the fans, that they will recognize this is a hero game, I feel well, and then we can add always some innovation. You see in all the Ubisoft brands that we have this core elements, and then if we want to make a better game, when we have to provide innovation and new things and new way of playing. So.
You briefly touched on the sort of the quick iterations. How has this changed sort of the way you work in a studio when you have all these projects that have all these deadlines coming up all the time? Is it constant crunch, or is it a nicer way of doing it?
I would say the danger is constant crash, so we have to be very careful with the teams, because there is no end anymore of the project. The good thing about it is that we can change the game for a very long time. So if Settlers, compared to what we released at open beta and now, it's a totally different game, because we have been working 2 more years on it. We changed the features, we saw what the people like, we saw what they didn't like, we saw what they asked, and we reacted and made it. So it's, I think for a game developer, it's actually a very nice field to work on, because you still can correct. You are always in contact with your gamers. All the members of the teams are in contact with the community, all the programmers, game designer, graphics. So you get this satisfaction when I'm saying, you know, it's the best thing you can have is that when the community tells, great work, and it goes directly to your heart. It's the best way to be rewarded for your work. The thing that is difficult is that you have to have a very, very clean code, because you're going to work for years on it. So there you have to be very careful not to mess around and to really have a very clear architecture. Otherwise, it's a mess.
So I suppose this space is also changing because the platforms are sort of changing. There's this sort of platform agnostic idea that's going around. Is that something you're embracing with future projects, and that you want to be able to have this browser experience or online experience across a multitude of different platforms?
Yes, I think it's a very important thing. It's part of life that you want to have the content wherever you are. So whatever platform you have in your hand, or in your living room, or in your bedroom, it doesn't matter, I think, for the consumer which platform they have. It matters which content they are able to get at that time. So we are going into this direction, but I don't think you're going to have one solution like all the game have to be multi-platform and accessible for everywhere, because it depends which kind of game it is, which kind of pleasure you're bringing. So we are on our project, we are making some games multi-platform, saying it's going to be one account and you can play from whatever format you want, but on some other games we think it's not necessary. We prefer to provide, for example, an helper app. When you come on Settlers, you can prepare your game on your iPhone when you're going to work, and then when you're at work you can keep on playing your Settlers. We think it's not always easy on a small smartphone to display such a strategy difficult game, so we chose this solution, and we are trying a little bit of everything, because I still think it's not going to be one solution, but it's going to be depending what the people want.
So just to close it off, sort of what is GDC for you, and sort of what do you see here, and why is it important to visit this conference?
It's different things we are doing here. We are recruiting because we are looking for more people, so it's a good place to meet people. For me, it's a very good place to listen. I'm here to watch people and to really listen and to see what are their experiences, what have they been doing, to think about the future, of course. It's the two main things we are doing. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.